Hello and welcome, you crazy people. My name is Jay, and in this video, well, it seems that Alex Davy will not be moving from Fantasy Flight Games to Atomic Mass Games. Now, Alex Davy is one of the lead designers of Star Wars Legion, and that's important news if you're interested in Star Wars Legion. So, just for clarity, something I didn't mention in the first video, Asmodee owns FFG and Atomic Mass Games. They are basically taking these Star Wars miniature games away from Fantasy Flight Games, and they are now going to be under Atomic Mass Games. Both of them, obviously, Asmodee companies, but the Star Wars X-Wing, Legion, and Armada are not under FFG. Now, in the whatever you want to call it, the press release, they said that some of the key important members of the teams will be moving from Fantasy Flight Games to Atomic Mass Games. So we all assume that would be like the key designers and stuff like that. And the changes would be minimum. Well, the fact that Alex is unfortunately, or fortunately, I don't know, honestly, I have no idea of his perspective on that, but I presume unfortunately he's not going with them, then, there are obviously some changes afoot. So let's talk about source first. So, because it was rumoured and I was struggling to find a source on this, so somebody in the Discord actually kindly linked me to this. So, for those of you who don't know, this was just a post. This was posted on Reddit, and a gentleman called, well, his username is Tin Boots. Now, you may remember him from when there was some redundancies last year, basically about Christmas time, just after Christmas, maybe January, I think. FFG, Tin Boots reported on it then, talking about it first and foremost. Now, he is Sam Bailey, who is now a designer, I think at Take-Two Interactive or something, but he did previously work at Fantasy Flight Games. So for me, this source is legit. If you doubt it, you doubt it, that's fine. I haven't seen anything from FFG or Alex's mouth directly, but he's got reliable track record, and he is somebody who worked at FFG, so no reason to believe that. But basically, he said, he says, when you're you can't actually see the top post, but he says, yes, Alex was axed, as well as Michael Gerns. Now, I don't know who that is, but he was apparently the producer and the developer of X-Wing, Armada, and Legion for years. But Alex, somebody says, is Alex Davy? And they say yes. So there's a source. I also quite like this. I was checking his post, and he did say something. I don't know if I can quickly find it. Oh, I can't find it. One of his posts in the list was, me, I am the source. And I was like, oh, that's quite funny, but unfortunately I can't get it up because I'm an idiot. But yes, so that definitely now seems to be the case. That's the source. An ex-employee of FFG has said that Alex is leaving. Now, I find it a little bit awkward to talk about people like possibly losing their jobs. I don't know. We've not heard anything. I don't know if Alex is, maybe he's happy to go and try and do something else, or maybe it's an unfortunate time to be losing your job in the corona era. So it's awkward for me either way. All I can say is I hope him, his family, and everybody he knows, whoever else is losing their job and stuff like that, are happy and safe, and or at least move on to pastures new quickly. I think we can all agree with that. So yeah, good luck, of course. But yeah, so that's definitely something. A lot of people in the comments were like, when I made my first video, they were like, oh, there's going to be no changes, #no changes, like you play World of Warcraft, and there's not going to be any, like, it's not going to be very important at all. I think losing Star Wars Legion, losing its main designer, pretty important. Now there's Luke as well. Now, now we're getting into rumors, but there's apparently a rumor of him possibly maybe moving on, maybe not. And I don't want to get into personal details or anything like that. It's not, I feel weird. It's weird talking about people's jobs, but we're talking about these because they make stuff that we like. If they just worked in a factory somewhere that we would never own, I'm just buying, I don't know, cans of Coke for them, we would never have this conversation. It's because they're like in the public eye, in a sense, because they make games that are played by the public and designed by them. So it's awkward, and I don't necessarily want to talk about it too much, but the key point here is that if you lose one of your main designers, the concept or the design of the game then becomes more susceptible or more likely to take a different direction. So I think that's hard to admit. Now, as I said in the first video, I do strongly feel that perhaps nothing will really change in terms of distribution, production, what's coming out next for probably probably about a year. I bet they work at least a year ahead, right? Now, what will happen after that, I don't know. And in the short term, there's a couple of things that actually could change. Alex, I think in a podcast, was talking about how they're going to change rules on cards and stuff like that, and would do a points rework. I suspect that will probably still happen, but it could be that in a couple of months, maybe the way that the points and the way that the cards get reworked, maybe that changes. Maybe they throw out some of it and they redo it. Who knows? I think in the long term for Star Wars Legion, you could see something like a second edition. Now, it's always a little bit weird when you have like card components. People did not like an X-Wing second edition because it's like, I've got to buy my cards. Whereas, like, if you play like 40k or something, you've got to buy the rule book and then another rule book and then your army book and then a supplement book. So I really don't think that FFG's card upgrade packs were really all that bad. But, who knows what will happen? We've never seen Atomic Mass Games do that. They're obviously new. Whether or not they'll take the same approach, we don't know. We don't know how much this will affect the games that I'll just hit my desk. We don't know how much this will affect the games that you play and I play. So all we can say is that there will be change. If there was no change, if it was literally just, we just want to reshuffle it and put it under this company, then why bother? Do you know what I mean? Like, there has to be a reason for it. And the reason is, I personally think, essentially a signal from Asmodee saying, well, we appreciate that we can't really compete in the miniature wargaming sphere without putting a bit more focus and effort into it. You go on the FFG website and there was articles, maybe once every, week or so about maybe a Star Wars game that you played, and the rest are like board games and card games and stuff like that. So to have them split out makes complete sense, but you split them out with the idea that you will do what they were doing, but better. Because it's like, well, we know, we're giving you these licenses because we feel like they are better suited under a dedicated company that's dedicated to that. That was the reason. And, that's probably the reason. So, some people say it could be like a financial restructuring and stuff like that. And it could end up being that because, at one point FFG were maybe trying to, like Asmodee were apparently trying to sell FFG and stuff like that. So now that they've taken some of the valuable stuff away from FFG, maybe they can now sell FFG as a board game company. However, I don't think necessarily they would, because now they're a board game and a trading card company, which sort of makes sense. That fits with Asmodee's vibe. So personally doubt they'll sell them, but I could be wrong. But they've definitely had a lot of restructures in the recent years. So changes have happened. Changes will probably continue to happen. And I suspect we will see changes. I just don't think we're necessarily going to see immediate like physical changes. I think we'll see marketing changes and the way that we're communicated and stuff like that. Losing a key developer though is a big change for sure. Obviously we don't know what's happening to some of the other key members of the teams and stuff like that, but I think this is a relatively big upheaval. Apparently they're also, the offices I don't think are that close. I'm not 100% sure on that, but there are some changes, and it'll be interesting to see how this goes. I'm still not confirming that I'm back, by the way. These are just subjects that I like. This is such big news that I feel like I have to talk about it a little bit. And obviously, as I said at the start, I didn't say it at the start, probably in the middle of the video, I hope Alex and anybody else who's perhaps either losing the job or moving to something new, I hope everything works out fine there. I can't imagine now would be a great time to be like made redundant. That would probably suck right now, especially in the corona times. So obviously I hope they end up landing on their feet. And as I said, it's weird to talk about people's jobs, but it is what it is. Especially like, it's weird, especially when it's not like, they're not musicians, we're not film stars or whatever like that. We're people who just play like board games and tabletop games. So like, it is a bit weird. It merges the line between like normal person and celebrity, renown or whatever you want to call it. So there you have it. Some changes are afoot. As I said, I hope everybody lands out okay. We'll see how it goes. I'm not necessarily committing to coming back yet or anything like that, but I just wanted to talk about these. I will be talking about this live on the stream tonight on my Terrain channel at about 6:30 UK time, 6:30 PM. Come and join me. Have a most beautiful day. Goodbye.